Before we start this episode of the Inspired Disorder podcast, go to inspireddisorder.com/Etsy, the official Inspired Disorder store. You buy all the merchandise, the Diseasy shirt, the new Inspired Disorder podcast shirt, 40 sacks, all kinds of shit. So go, and you can, through the end of the year, through the end of 2016, you can save 25% using coupon code INSPIRED2016.
That's a lot of percent.
Yes, a quarter of what you spend stays in your pocket. So go to inspireddisorder.com/Etsy to buy the shit.
Buy some shit.
Also, get yourself healthy and kick-started for the new year. I know everybody's going to have their
New Year's resolution.
Yeah. Go to inspireddisorder.com/Onnit, ONNIT. Get yourself healthy. Buy supplements. Buy workout equipment. Everything you could ever want to make yourself healthier and fitter. InspiredStore.com/Onnit, ONNIT. Save 10% on the supplements with coupon code INSPIRED when you check out. Coupon code INSPIRED. InspiredStore.com/Onnit. And let's get this motherfucking episode going.
Boom.
This is starting. I think we're starting.
We're starting.
That's how it starts.
Push it with your dick, dude.
It worked! I am Ray Taylor. I clearly don't have a regular job. I was never really into comic books growing up. Like, I was a geek.
Well, you should tell your face that, because you look exactly like
I do.
Watch the fights.
Fuck yeah, I watch the fights.
I'm Keith Spurlock. I watch every kind of pornography.
I said,
all right, counteract my cancer that I'm giving myself.
Right.
I smoke weed after every cigarette.
What were we just fucking talking about? And this is the Inspired Disorder podcast. I'm not going to allow you to have an opinion on this just because you're wrong.
Is anyone else's podcast about like jerking off and UFC?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Dun, 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 da-da!
So what Keith is doing?
I'm the motherfucking champion.
He won the pick bet.
About fucking time.
Last week, and I lost. It's been a very long time since
I don't give a fuck when the last time was.
It's been so long. I think I've only worn it. This is my third time wearing the hat. I think I wore it the very first time when we got the hat. And somewhere in the middle, I fucked up.
I don't need excuses.
Then there were
all
two
these
fights
people
back
need to
to
know
back.
is that you lost.
I
They could be first time watching this. Like, they don't need to know. They just know that you're a loser.
That's true. I mean, people can have the wrong view of me at the beginning, but stick with us, people. I guarantee I have a really good record with this bullshit. But just not this particular week. It was off. I don't know. I don't want to make excuses. You made some good picks. There were some really good fights. And I only lost by a small margin. So, only one worse than last week where it was a tie.
We both did all right on the first ones.
Should put it right here.
Yeah, sorry.
I mean, I don't know about our picks, but they were definitely. I mean, there was a lot of fucking.
You only missed one of your picks
in the
pay-per-view.
Bottom. It was like, well, I mean, I guess we'll get to it. Some of them, there were some underdogs.
But yeah, this was. We just rewatched them again.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about them.
Yep, that's how it works, people. So first off, the first fight. Oops, where the fuck is the browser? There it is. Let's put you over where you belong. The first fight was UFC Fight Night in Albany, New York, on Friday.
Now, did you refresh
December
this
9th.
so they're not
Yeah, it's got
shadow
the times
people?
and everything.
All right.
Let me refresh it again. So the feature bout was headlined by Derek Lewis versus Shamil Abdurakhimov. And it was all on Fight Pass, which was very nice. It's weird, though, that you do have to switch between the prelims and the main card.
That makes no sense.
I guess, like, archiving it, it's easier. It's one less edit to do. I don't know. I don't really have any idea. But all the prelims, which is kind of weird watching all 8 fights just one after the other.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I'm not gonna go through all these. But
Yeah,
let me see if there was any.
We only bet on the last 6 of each card.
Yeah. Dirty Sanchez looked great. He was back. El Dirte Sanchez.
That looks like it got fight something of the night. The Gigliotti.
Yeah.
I can't even.
Yeah, I don't really. It wasn't that great of a card actually. The undercard for Camozzi Brown. Oh, that's where we start.
That's where we start.
Bam. How about that? It's Brian Camozzi versus Randy Brown.
Now Brian Camozzi, this is his first fight in the UFC.
You could tell he's a jiu-jitsu guy. I'm pretty sure because the first round he won because he had for the most I think he won. He had Randy Brown in a armbar for a good part of it.
Yeah. Brown defended well.
Yeah.
But I wonder if Brian Camozzi any relation to Chris Camozzi.
Yeah, I don't know. The Camozzi brothers.
Who knows? It happens in fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But
True.
yeah,
They didn't really mention it though.
No.
So
I think they would have.
Yeah, me too.
But I picked Brown in this one. Brown just beat him up in the second round.
On the feet.
Yeah.
Is way different game. Camozzi is way more of a ground guy. But although I don't know how they must have scored him being in an armbar as him having control.
Well, he was on top.
That's true. Yeah.
And
or maybe it only was 33 seconds of having him in the armbar.
Probably somewhere around that.
Why am I going?
But I mean, he was going for things from the bottom.
Oh yeah. You could tell. He was unlike many, or a few fights that we saw. So we have Justine Kish versus Ashley Yoder.
I want to say one thing about Kish's picture.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, she looks way better in that picture.
Yeah, she's photogenic for sure.
She's very photogenic.
Or the cornrows just didn't work.
I don't know, but she looked
she
looked scary.
Yeah. Pretty dominant on the feet for Kish.
This was a back and forth fight. This was a good fight. A lot of weird transitions, not a lot of ground.
It was a lot of groundwork, but it was a lot of back and forth.
Not a lot of punching, just a lot of trying to get position and reversing position, and it was it was a fun fight. Mm-hmm. It wasn't anything.
It was a decision.
Yeah.
It was a pretty close decision, I thought.
It could have went either way.
Yeah. But it went 10-9, 10-8 for.
And you picked Kish. So starting out, we're 1-1.
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm like, all right, this is good.
Let's go.
This is gonna be more normal, styly. And overall, I do think it was kind of more of a normal. I mean, that's kind of how they shape up a lot of the times.
Yes.
Where we end up down to the wire. But these were both the main cards, so it's a lot of fighters. We're not guessing a lot.
Some.
There was a few. I mean, this one was a fight pass thing, but I mean,
in this next one, you picked a shadow guy.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Volante versus Fight of the Night. That's good. At least you got a bonus. Volante versus Safarov or Safarov.
Yeah, they were saying Safarov. I like Safarov.
Yeah, Safarov. For whatever reason, I just didn't. I totally blanked on Volante.
Safarov was. If his knee hadn't of whatever it did,
that didn't help for sure.
Because this was a back and forth fight.
The first part of the first round, like Volante comes out and is just destroying
jab after jab
just
in the same spot.
Caught him with a jab, knocked him
bloody
down.
eye.
Yeah,
same spot right every time.
Safarov goes for a kick, hits him, grabs his knee in pain. Twice.
Throws it again, and then is like, oh, yep.
Oh, my God.
I forgot about that knee hurting thing.
Just waiting for it to just go the wrong way.
I was.
Like the amount of pain he was in, but he ended up by the end of the round catching Volante and almost
having him on the ropes.
It's like, holy shit.
He was backpedaling.
Shit. Yeah.
Now, these guys looked like they were in two different weight classes also.
For sure. Yeah. Safarov looked like he should be 185.
He's got dad bod at 205.
And I mean, the knee thing is probably surgery, I would imagine, if it's like that.
Who knows what it was.
Oh,
but
man. Not good.
I mean, he's still...
twice.
Yeah, but
he's
still
posting
kept
on it, right?
fucking fighting.
Yeah. But even the second round, it became a different story. Because Volante started adding a lot of leg kicks in, which he wasn't doing any leg kicks.
Well, yeah, when you see a guy can't fucking, this corner's like, hey, dipshit.
Yeah.
You know that thing where
it's gonna
like
keep
freaked out?
Distance?
Yeah.
You notice how you got hit a little bit there? Maybe not stand in punching distance with a guy that can't throw kicks anymore.
Yeah. This was a fun fight.
Great fight though. Yeah. Finished second round.
You picked Safar off.
Yep. Which in that first round I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be crazy if I win this one. Right when I saw Volante, I was like, no, I fucked up. I was like, one of my picks is so bad. But Volante needs to learn fucking defense, man, because there's no way he should have been that close to being finished by a guy that's so beaten up.
So I'm up 2-1.
Yeah. So moving on to we're already in the main card. That was the first fight. This is the second fight, although it's still Fight Pass card. So if you have Fight Pass, you can go back and watch all of these fights right now. Corey Anderson, which used to be Beaston 25 Easton. Now it's over
25-8.
25-8.
Beaston 25 Easton. That's awesome.
That's why that's when I got confused. Well, I was really high too, but I got confused.
Were you thinking the Beast, Marvin Eastman?
Yeah. That's what I was like, wait a minute, that's not him. And I got so weed. What are you gonna do? And then I was like, man. But yeah, Corey Anderson, OT, overtime, which is a way better version.
Way better nickname, Corey Anderson. If you ever see this,
Sean O'Connell, the
stained glass warrior.
Yeah.
It has more work.
Updated the
he
chest.
has more work on the chest now.
Yeah, it's more
stained glass.
It works.
More
for him.
stained glassy.
I mean, he's going with it.
He's the whitest white guy with a very colorful tattoo, and it works.
Yeah, he's got to be Catholic too. You can't have that much stained glass and not be like,
who knows?
Because that's like
O'Connell, Irish Catholic.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. O'Connell did not look good. It was the first round on the feet, or was that mostly on the ground too? I guess, yeah. It was mostly once Corey got him on the ground, throwing great punches.
Just beating him up.
And then O'Connell would have him in like his guard, but not be doing anything to get up, just kind of holding on like somebody else in a later fight.
It's 6 minutes and 42 seconds of control.
15 punches.
And
he was on his back
the whole fight
time.
was 7 minutes and 24 seconds. So
yeah, that's true.
So the entire fight was spent with Corey Anderson just grinding on Sean O'Connell, but actually throwing punches and finishing it.
Yeah, it wasn't like, finished it. Moving on to...
So that put me up 3-1.
3-1, yeah. Francis, after the last card, I was just glad to get a win out of the way.
Yeah.
I don't need that bullshit. Francis Ngannou versus Anthony Hamilton. I stick to the plays, bro. Stick to the plays. Because Ngannou, he had him on the cage, and Ngannou just grabbed his arm and then just held onto it.
Threw him down with it and then picked him up by it and yanked it behind his back. Yeah. That dude is... He's strong.
Dude. Yeah, he's a strong dude.
And this was so early. It was like
4 years he's only been doing MMA. Or they said he didn't
even know what MMA was 4 years ago.
Yeah. So it's like, Jesus Christ. Great up and comer, heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Young, I believe he's young. But that was super fast finish too. First round. It was like how Ronda Rousey used to finish with arm bars. Except for he's not known for that. Or submissions.
Yeah, he's like, one time in practice, my coach showed me that.
Yeah. He's like, oh.
So I thought I'd try it in a professional fight.
Yeah.
Where I'm pressed up against the cage by another man who knocks motherfuckers out. Because don't get it wrong. Hamilton can fucking... I don't want to say it, but he can crack.
Oh, well, he didn't crack. He didn't do anything.
Well, his arm his shoulder almost cracked.
Yeah, he didn't do much of anything because it was pretty much went straight to the cage. They maybe threw a few shots. Nothing hit, really.
No.
Nothing. I mean, he went to the cage. He was going to break the grip, and in that, he uses it to fucking throw him to the ground, and then he just rolled the whole way with it.
But then when he had him on his back, like the guy was fine, and he
put his knee on belly.
He like pulled him up to put it behind his back. It was really good. Really nice.
I think they call that the carjack maneuver.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
That puts me. I had
But
Ngannou.
man.
That puts me up 4-1. This is when I came with because this card was on Friday.
Yeah,
I had been at work. I came home and I saw 4-1,
and it finished early too.
Yeah,
A little. Well, yeah,
I got off
pretty
a little
early.
early.
Yeah. But you came home right at the.
yeah. The
Did you see
in
the
the
Ngannou
middle
one?
no,
No, you came by. Okay.
I came in the I missed the first round at Lewis.
Okay. So then the main event, another heavyweight, Derek Lewis versus Shamil Abdurakhimov. Thankfully, Shamil lost, so hopefully I don't have to say his name in future fights. Although it was a close fight for the most.
Lewis was looked to be losing the fight.
He kept throwing these not setting up these
Lazy
head
kicks and getting
then
caught,
getting taken down, and then he has to get up. So it was Shamil, a lot of control, but Lewis got up. It was just how long is he going to wait before getting up? But then it just his body. Yeah, it was like if the guy wants to take you down, the last thing you want to do is throw kicks, especially if you're maybe not the most dynamic of athletes throwing kicks in the UFC.
Stick to low kicks in a
low
combo.
Kicks,
not a naked.
Set up the fucking high kick with throw a couple jabs. I don't know, just touch the front leg, do a spinning back kick. All right, so
you had Lewis in that.
Yeah, I was still pretty comfortable during the fight, even though it didn't look great.
Yeah,
he did finish it.
Lewis pulls through, so now it's only 4-2. Not bad.
Yeah, so I knew that was for sure, most likely a lock. I wasn't. Yeah, out of all of. Well, I guess maybe there were some other ones that could have been a lock.
On to 206.
Yeah. All right, so moving on to UFC 206, which was the next day, Saturday,
You might want to refresh
December
that
16th, in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Brought to you by the Toronto government.
That's right. Oh, Ontario government.
Oh, yeah.
It was supposed to be the light heavyweight championship belt, Cormier versus Rumble. Cormier does what he does more
Gets
than
hurt.
not. Got hurt, pulled out. Rumble's waiting, so they made this an interim bout, the Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis. Was it featherweight?
Yeah.
So it went from 3 rounds to 5. Anthony Pettis didn't make weight. But let's see. This was a good card.
Well,
Let me see.
we
the
got to
Ortiz
talk about
Sago.
Madesi.
Yeah. So the feature bout on the UFC Fight Pass, which we didn't make picks for, but I think I would have gotten
Performance of the night.
Oh, for sure. That's a knockout of the year almost.
And on a card like this, to get a performance of the night.
Oh, that's how good. They showed the fight twice.
Well,
Because they showed this was
that doesn't always mean anything. We've seen a lot of shit fights again.
It depends on how much time they need to fill.
Exactly.
They're like, this will be quick.
But I
This
could
is a
watch
quick
this fight.
first round.
I'm sure I'm going to see this knockout.
Yeah. If you've only seen the knockout,
How many
just
times
watch
have
the
you
fight.
seen the Barboza knockout? Just in
I've
weird
seen it.
flashes of clips in anything.
We'll see that too. We'll see.
But I'm
this
saying
one,
this
too.
one's going to be just as.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the newest Barboza.
Oh yeah.
Madesi got
And that's
Barboza.
the style. Lando's got a fun style to watch, man.
I'm excited to watch more of this kid.
But I'm sure everybody's seen the Vanetta head kick, and if you haven't, just
Google that shit.
Yeah. So that was probably the first really great fight because the first two, were pretty standard. The Olivier Aubin-Mercier versus Drew Dober fight was really good too. Good performance from Mercier, who's he's like young, up and comer, but he's had a couple losses, and I think he's starting to put things
18.
together. Oh yeah. So that was another good fight. But starting off, which is the feature bout for the FS1 prelims, is Nikita Krylov versus Misha Serkinov.
And I picked Krylov in this.
And he seemed to be, by what the commentators and everything, that he seemed to be
He's supposed to be the
favorite.
next big thing.
Yeah.
They're both tough guys, but oh shit.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was a first round finish for Serkinov. Submission.
Guillotine, I believe.
Yeah, he caught him in a guillotine.
So now,
and he was doing pretty good
he was doing
during
right.
the fight.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he just caught him in the. I mean, he did catch him in the guillotine, but he was. What did he have him in? Early in the fight, he was fighting off something from Krylov. So him getting in the guillotine is almost turned it around on him.
So now it's fucking 4-3. Like,
Right.
my 4-1 lead is almost gone.
Yeah, the 4-1 leads aren't. You gotta get such. I mean, yeah. So anyway, moving on to the main card, the pay-per-view main card: Emil Meek versus Jordan Mean.
And it's Mech.
Emil Mech. Mean's been gone for 2 years. I think they said something
As
like
you
that.
can tell by his old-timey photo.
Yeah.
That evidently is from
Yeah,
the
it's-
1900s.
Yeah, and then Mech just came over from another organization, finished Paul Harris.
Yes.
So it was good to see him fight in the UFC. Kind of interesting. The first round, I thought Meehan won it. It's pretty dominant, especially towards the end when Meek, looked like he was injured.
We had him
but
down
then
at
the next two rounds, Meek just completely controlled it on the ground.
Mean just laid there.
Yeah, Mean was another one of these. He's the O'Connell. Shit. What's his name? O'Connell. It was O'Connell, basically. He was just content with laying on his back, trying to hold him. But Mech was able to
close
throw
guard, barely. I mean,
he wasn't doing shit.
Yeah, he just didn't
and
do
Mech was
anything.
actually landing stuff, so just trying to hold on. Like, you got to lock somebody down if you want
Yeah,
to.
he kept advancing
Like, he wasn't doing
position,
shit.
throwing enough shots to not get it stood up.
Yeah.
And Mean was. I mean, he didn't get hurt per se on the ground, but
he wasn't doing
anything.
Yeah, he was just surviving. He was
Yeah.
content just being there.
He did not look
So-
like the old Jordan Mean. You
No.
picked Mean.
Yeah.
I got it with the Mech.
Yeah.
So now we're up 5-3.
5-3. Moving on to a fight I totally thought.
I think everybody
everyone
in
on
MMA,
Earth.
yes.
Tim Kennedy versus Kevin Gastelum at 185.
Yes.
Gastelum should be a 170 pounder, and they fucking, aside from the what was the dad bod dude?
Yeah.
Gastelum is like the same kind of. I mean, not as flabby as dad bod dude, but total size difference.
Yeah.
Huge size.
Oh,
difference.
Jesus. Kennedy's a monster
Yeah.
compared. But Kennedy is also one of the biggest guys at
True.
185.
True.
Him and Romero are like.
He controlled the first round. Had his. I mean, most of it.
Most of it,
Had
yeah.
his back. Was kneeing him in the ass the whole time.
Right in the back, either the ass or the back of the leg,
Tailbone,
side, tailbone, which you're not really supposed to.
Yeah, a lot of those looked like he was just, and I think he did that to Bisping too, where it's just like it looks so wrong. It just looks so wrong.
It's the butt hump knee. You're like, nah.
Yeah, it's like I guess that's what they do in the SEALs.
But then, wow, Gastelum just. Kennedy gassed, which
Yeah.
I've never seen.
Well, he got clipped a few times too.
Couple
which
times,
that
but
helps getting gassed.
I've seen him eat some shots. But I don't.
Well, he did have to cut weight not that long ago. Even though he didn't fight, he did just have to cut weight for the New York card. That
Maybe
got
he missed his
pulled out.
peak again, and I don't
mean,
know.
I'm sure it's not easy to cut weight.
But again, he hasn't fought in 2 years.
That too.
But everyone thought he was going to take it. Gastelum
man.
boxed him up.
Yeah, once Kennedy's started getting gassed and Gastelum started kind of warming up, I guess.
Just
It's not
getting
having
the
to worry about the
Pitter
clinch.
pat, yeah.
Oh, just clean boxing. Which, even though I'm not a fan of his, because
No,
it's like you fucking.
And then
you
he said
keep
after the fight he
fucking with
wants to
shit.
go back down to 170 again.
Yeah. He always, it's like he says the exact same thing he said last time he didn't make weight. Oh, I'll show up to Dana's house at 170 to show him. It's like you're so inconsistent, man. Like, I would almost have him fight a few fights at 170 or 185 before bringing him, like, maybe one more fight.
I mean, shit. Beating Kennedy
Yeah.
puts him should put him in the top 10 at 185.
He was supposed to fight Cowboy. Well, that's, yeah. Cowboy
Cowboy's
is 170. Yeah, but I was thinking they could set that up again. But
I mean, if he goes back down to 170.
oh yeah. I could see. Well, I don't know where Cowboys rank now. I don't know. Who knows?
So now it's 4-5.
4-5. But good fight. Good fight. Back and forth. Especially, considering the outcome. Win for what's his face? Kevin Gastelum. So next up, Cub Swanson versus Do-Hoo Choi, who became, I think, finally. He's on everybody's radar now.
This fight,
potential fight of the year.
Oh yeah,
fight of the night for sure. It's just like two guys who are fun to watch fight because they're, different styles, but so good at what they do, and just both pretty much landing a lot of everything they do.
Just cracking.
Choi's chin is fucking
both of them
ridiculous.
They both
for
took
sure,
those shots.
for sure. But Choi took every time, momentum wise, the 2 rounds for sure. Like the last 2 rounds that Swanson won, it was like he was dominating the beginning. Choi would come back once, and then he would dominate towards the end again. And same thing with the 3rd round where
I thought it was more of a 29-28 fight than the 30-27.
Yeah,
but
I thought Choi won the first, and then I thought Swanson won the last 2.
But definitely,
fucking amazing fight.
Watch this fight, people.
Definitely Swanson wins the fight.
Yeah. Well,
despite how it's like just even if you just watch the fight as a whole.
If the fight would have went on 10 more seconds.
Choi, but the thing
Choi
is, every time that happened, he would lock up, and it would just and then it would just keep going, and then he would get on him.
His ability to recover,
crazy.
A few times,
because that's how it ended.
I saw the look on Choi's face, I don't know where I'm at. I'm back, and it's oh shit,
so good. Great fight.
You
but
picked
great
Choi
win for. Oh man,
I got the win with that.
That's not a bad fight to lose on though.
So now it's 6-4. You got to win out to tie it.
Yeah, which I got Matt Brown versus Donald Cerrone. 2 of our favorite fighters. I'm glad you made this. You picked this one, right?
I did.
Because I don't know. Just I want Matt Brown to win, but I think Cerrone's on a run, especially at 170 now. And Matt Brown looked good. He dropped him in the second.
The fact that this fight followed up the fight before that.
This would have been fight of the night.
It would have been.
This didn't get shit.
No. Because you had a spinning wheel kick from hell. You had.
Gives a fuck. Bonus it up.
You had Choi and fucking.
Bonus it up.
So I don't know, man.
Especially this union thing. Fuck yeah, let's kind of grease Cerrone a little bit.
That's probably why they didn't.
Well, they went the wrong way, maybe.
But
I don't know.
Anyway. This was a weird fight. They both
first
dropped
round was
each other.
Pretty close. They're both getting each other. A couple head kicks to Matt Brown in the
Cerrone
first
just
round.
kept kicking Brown in the head. And
second round, Matt Brown drops him. Fucking, I totally going into that 3rd round. I thought it was 1-1. Potentially 2. Potentially Matt Brown 2.
I didn't see it that
way.
But
I thought Brown got the second. He knocked him down.
Yeah.
Cerrone never. He hit him a lot, but he never put him down. And Cerrone recovered after it, but he definitely.
No, he dropped Brown.
It was
a couple times.
I think those were all in the 3rd. In the second round, the only knockdown was the during the 3rd.
But he still
Matt Brown
stunned him a lot, and
for sure they hit each other a lot. But one guy gets knocked down. A little bit more
crazy
dominant.
Fucking fight though.
Yeah, great fight
and
horrible. A really bummer ending in some instances.
I was bummed, and I picked Cerrone.
Yeah. Although it was, head kicks. He got kicked in the head a bunch of times. I don't think his chin is suspect.
By the 6th time you get kicked in the head, shit's gotta shut off. You're
hey,
we can't.
And it was a different. He had been getting hit on the side. That one was more it looked like it hit the face more, maybe the jaw, but it was a different angle because Matt Brown was. I think he was swinging for a liver shot, trying to go to the body because he had him hurt. He had him up on the cage.
His head went down.
Second round,
and when the kick came,
because
so
he was
kind of ducked
swinging
into it.
Because in the second round he had him up on the cage. Cerrone was covering up and he was fucking going, and then Cerrone.
Brown looked
recovered.
great up until
up until
until
he got shut down. But that's what Cerrone can do.
good
That's what
win, good
Cerrone
on
can do.
Cerrone. Hope Brown can
And Brown, this
get
is
another
first time.
get another win before
I
he
don't see why
retires.
not. I don't see why not, because that was a good performance.
It was
up until he.
I saw
get
his
knocked
tweet.
out.
He said he's not done yet.
Yeah,
So
and he just started training with Bang, and he's super excited about it. And he said, "It's like I know I was probably not going to be able to bring anything to this fight, but he's like the next fight he's excited for." He's talking like I don't think his chin's suspect, even though it's just
no,
he's coming off a knockout.
I'm more suspect about how his body takes shots at his chin.
Both of these guys have been shut down with by their livers.
Yeah.
Brown's tough through it. That was that Brazilian
Silva.
kid. Yeah, that was a nuts fight. But usually, those guys got.
So with that win, that locks up the win for me.
Right, which is fine.
7-4.
Yeah. So it's Max Holloway versus Anthony Pettis.
You had Holloway, and Holloway comes through with a fucking. I mean, Pettis looked all right in the first round.
Yeah.
He
wasn't really connecting as much. I mean, fucking a third of his punches versus half.
He still looked good. Like it wasn't that he didn't.
No.
He just like got.
But Holloway's good at avoiding shit.
First
He
2
moves
rounds,
well.
it was back and forth. They were both, catching each other, this and that. Then the third round,
I thought it was too. I don't. Did Pettis win any of the
I'm
first
not
2
sure.
rounds?
I don't-
I know they were close because he got cut open in the first round, and whatever he had some damage after the first round, and outpointed. Good fight though, and 2 takedowns for fucking sweeps. Great sweeps from Holloway. And then great finish, too. Spinning back kick.
Yeah, just pieced him up. Just
Once he
crumbled
saw him hurt, he's like, oh, this is it. I'm done. And he doesn't do what some guys do. He mixes all of those punches up.
So the
So he's
final
hitting
was
them everywhere.
7-5.
Dun, dun, dun.
Two-
But it's a great card, though.
2 pretty good cards.
Yeah.
I mean, at least
the first
end.
part
Yeah.
of the Fight Pass one was kind of mediocre. The first 2 fights of the pay-per-view or whatever, but it was pretty good. And the Letourneau fight was...
But I mean, 206 was it was a great card overall.
Oh, yeah. Despite being kind of, on paper, not like Blockbuster. Although,
people were bitching about the
It's like-
card.
the card sucked until they added Pettis Holloway. Well, Pettis Holloway was original kind of early on, right? But the Cerrone Brown
and Kennedy Gastelum.
Kennedy
were both
Gastelum were
late
big.
ads.
Yeah.
If those hadn't happened,
Swanson Choi
and
is
the
great.
Choi fight didn't go the
Yeah.
awesome way it did.
But that, I mean, on paper, Swanson Choi, aside from me just thinking Choi's going to fucking knock him out. But it's good fights. Well, that one was surprising.
Very.
So, the Kennedy Gastelum. All right, so next week we have UFC Fight Night, Saturday, December 17th in Sacramento,
Do you need to reset
California.
this one? How long have you had this up? Just in
This
case
one
there's...
I just put up.
All right.
Because we haven't talked about it yet. So it's headlined by Paige VanZandt versus Michelle Waterson. I don't know. It's, I guess, like both up and comers. Waterson was from Invicta.
These
She did
are
well.
the 2
She lost her belt.
These are the
versus-
2 hot girls
yeah.
that they want to fight.
Waterson's been out with injuries.
Paige has been...
Well, she just came back from
Yeah, she
Dancing with the
won.
Stars with a flying head kick.
Yeah, that was pretty fucking
But,
sweet.
Yeah. So let's get into it. Well, you choose. since you
Oh,
won.
yeah. Let's
You're not
see.
used to this part. This is one of the other perks.
Shut your
I mean, you don't
filthy
have to
mouth.
go first, but you get to choose. So it's 13 fights, which is rare. So usually it's 12. 12 or 13, I guess.
I'll pick first.
or it's 13, and there's always something that nobody dropped off of that last card, and they were all in order. Nope.
The Ngannou and
the Anderson fight, I think too. Yeah. Whatever. So starting off with the UFC Fight Pass prelims, we have. You're going first.
Yeah.
All right. We have Bojan Horseman Velikchik, Velikkovic versus Sultan Aliyev. He's I
think Sultan's probably his first time in the UFC, maybe his second.
He's got a picture.
He does have a picture.
So,
but he has no reach or legs, and his
well, that's true. That's true. Maybe he's from a show. Because they get people with no reach or legs.
Well, he seems to be the Sultan of Swing with 77% knockouts, and the other guy's well-rounded, got a lot of
looks like
a lot of
submission versus striker.
I'm gonna go Aliyev.
I'm all right with that.
You're gonna need to give me a second on
Velcro.
Yeah.
Velikkovic.
All right.
Velikkovic. Next up, we have Hector Sandoval versus Freddy Serrano. Serrano from Colombia. Sandoval, Mexico. 12-3 for Sandoval. 3-1.
3-1
for Serrano
in the UFC. He must have beat somebody.
That's gotta. Well, I'm pretty sure he beat 3 people.
Well, I mean, I'm saying
one of those.
Someone of name.
He's so good. He got hired after his loss. They're like, bro, we want you. This has never happened before. So this is Northern California. Man, I almost want to go Serrano. Yeah, I'm going Serrano. Why not? I don't really know this Sandoval kid. Mexico's been doing pretty good. Half of his fights go to decision, though. Not a big fan of that. My dude likes to knock people out. 10% of the time, nobody knows what the fuck's going on. No, I guess I would make it up. All right, so next up, the last and final Fight Pass prelim, the feature bout. Eddie Wineland versus Takeya Mizugaki.
Now, this is like...
Glad I'm not picking this one.
Well, it's because it's a coin flip because these guys are such interchangeable veterans. Look at their fucking records. They're almost exactly the same.
Yeah, but Mizugaki gets there by decision.
Almost all the time.
He's taken way more damage, most likely, because he's taken every round a bunch of times.
And I wouldn't be surprised if they both retired after this fucking fight.
What? Wineland looked good and they're 13-14. And they're probably, considering the old people in the UFC, I'm not begging for these guys to
No, I like to see them fight, but they're both getting old.
Yeah.
I got Weiland in this.
Okay.
I think he's gonna lay some dirty mitts on that Mizugaki.
Maybe. All right, so going on to the FS1 prelims, starting off with our first shadow person, Irene Aldana. I think she's from Invicta. Name sounds familiar. Versus Leslie Smith, the Peacemaker. I think I am going to go with Irene Aldana. Shadow person. I don't know
Coming
why.
out with the ballsy shadow
submission and KO. She finishes everything. 7-2 versus 8-7.
Yeah.
Pretty. That's not too.
Didn't Leslie
crazy.
fight Cyborg? And she one of the two that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. So she either knocks you out or just goes the decision. Yeah, I'm good. I'm pretty comfortable with that one. Next one up is Josh Emmett versus Scott Holtzman.
And we're not going to give you...
Oh, there they are. Hey, you guys.
Tricky tricksters.
You didn't know it was a surprise party until you showed up. Josh Emmett versus Scott Holtzman. Hot sauce.
Two guys that are
Similar, 10-0, 9-1. A third of the time, they knock people
everything's
out.
almost the exact same.
Yeah. Sometimes they submit people, but half the time it goes to a decision. So it's kind of mediocre. These both kind of.
Hey,
both
there's
half
only
of the
one
time-
loss between the two of them out of 20 fights.
Yeah,
so.
but half of those 5 fights they've gone to decision.
Yeah, I'm saying they're exactly they're like the same
I
person.
know. I'm guessing decision. Maybe, but they do KO people, so it's like
Double
I
KO.
guess we'll see. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah.
I think I'm gonna have to go with Holtzman just because I like hot sauce.
All right. I'm good with that. Undefeated Josh Emmett. So next up we have Alex Morano versus James Muntasiri.
The Moonwalker.
The Moonwalker versus the Great White. Morano. Germany versus U.S. 9-4, 12-3. Ooh. I think Muntasiri, though. No, I guess.
Muntasiri is the karate style.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go Muntasiri on this one. The Moonwalker. For sure. 9-4. Yeah, why not?
I'm
So
all
it
right.
seems
I'm all right
kinda
with
like a-
this
yeah,
because
it's-
last time I picked Muntasiri, he did not win,
Well.
but he wasn't
he-
fighting a Morano.
Alrighty, so next one up, we have Colby Covington versus Brian Bam Bam Barberina coming back.
Dad bod and everything.
Yep. 12-3 for Barberina, 10-1 for Covington.
Now Barberina's been out for a little while, hasn't he?
I mean, a little bit. I think he's fought twice this year. Right? Beat Sage and then fought another fight. Did he? I think he lost the second fight, though.
No, I think
he's
he
coming
won
off a
both of
loss.
them.
Well, I know he won Sage for sure. Yeah, maybe he did. But I think both of those were this year. Pretty sure. So not too bad. 3 fights in a year. Colby Covington. Don't remember. Can't remember his last fight. Name's familiar. So I don't know if he's been gone for a while. But
I gotta go Barberina.
yeah. Probably would have gone Barberina. Colby Covington. Jiu-Jitsu. 40%. Do that 8% for Barberina is probably
Is the one the Sage?
Is the Sage percent. So we've got next up Cole Miller. Believe he's fighting his last fight of his contract versus Mizuto Hirota. Jesus Christ. Can I read? Can somebody teach me how to read?
Pugness?
I guess Cole was supposed to be on the card that was canceled in Milan.
Mm-hmm.
Milan? That's not right. Macau. Yeah.
Philippines.
Yeah, I think it's Macau is in Philippines or where it's at. It's like casino. It's like the Vegas of Asia, I think. So it's been, I don't know when that card. It's been a while since that card. So it's mine.
Yeah.
Versus Pugness. Man, I don't want to choose based on names, bro.
You do have a pug.
She's not a Pugness. She's a Chug. She's a
Whatever.
Chihuahua pug.
She looks exactly like a pug.
Well, she's got the Jewish pug. She's got a big nose. Man, I know Cole lost. Who did he lose to? Like a short notice, he replaced somebody that replaced somebody that replaced somebody. Man, and he lost.
Yeah, I think he was the favorite in that fight, and I
Yeah.
forget too. But
I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Hirota. I think so. I'll go Pugness, not for the name, but Jim Miller didn't sound too
Cole.
Or Cole Miller, sorry, didn't seem too happy about his situation. He's like, fuck this. No desire to fight for the UFC anymore. So the final fight of the prelims, the FS1 prelims, the feature bout, Henrique Da Silva versus Paul Craig, shadow person with a 8-0 undefeated record versus Da Silva with a 12-0 undefeated record, and he likes to knock motherfuckers out.
yeah, the guy
and
likes
probably,
to submit people.
Yeah, and that 8% submission is probably off of a punch.
Yeah,
I'm sure. He rocked somebody and got a rear naked choke.
Paul Craig. I'm guessing Paul's from around these parts, U.S. somewhere. Could be wrong.
Could be UK.
Could be UK.
Easy. But yeah, that's what I would potentially guess. Hometown guy.
I think I'm gonna
it's
go
a
with.
local.
I gotta go with the Frankenstein, keeping it rolling.
Although it is it's the feature bout for FS1, so Paul Craig must have looked great somewhere, wherever he came from. Maybe he had a
Or whoever Da Silva was originally supposed to fight dropped out.
belt. Or that's the situation, and then this fight's not going to be even in this order. All right, well, whatever. So the main card with only 4 fights. Starting off with
It's your buddy.
Alan Jouban versus Mike Platinum Perry.
Or
God's
douchebag.
gift. The D-bag himself who is knocking motherfuckers out.
That's all he
Is
does.
this you or me?
This is you.
Wow. This is going to be a crazy fight. Because Jouban loves to throw. For being a model, he throws, man.
But he also,
He wins.
and he loses sometimes.
Yeah, but I think he won at least his last one. I don't know about his last 2. And Perry's been destroying motherfuckers.
That's all he does.
I got to go with God's gift.
It's hard. I picked him last time.
I mean,
I think this will be his 3rd fight in the UFC.
yeah. Short notice against some tall motherfucker. Somehow he knocked him clean out. Got up there with his fists. I don't remember his it was Hot Chocolate. Did he fight? Was it Platinum versus Hot Chocolate? Anyway, dominated.
Yeah, it was.
Dominated that fight. Yeah. Well, let's go, Perry. Let's make this shit happen. So moving on to the final fight of Uriah Faber's career.
I can't handle Brad
And
Pickett's
Brad
face.
Pickett turning the corner early. Jesus, he looks like he's like he got caught peeping into somebody's window and his face stuck.
Like it's smushed up against the glass.
Yeah, he's like, oh my God, her breasts. Mom! Oh no, her nose, it's stuck that way. If only like he got punched and it swole up, like just right there, and it just looked like he was. Man, Uriah Faber's last fight, coming off his first loss to a non-title fight.
Rivera.
Yep. Brad Pickett's.
112 years old.
And he's been very inconsistent. Very inconsistent. He still looks great, but he gets put down
And
a lot more.
I got to go with Faber going out on a win
this
in
is
his
your pick.
hometown.
Man, I'm kind of glad you're picking this one.
Oh man,
I was like, man, I don't know.
Faber in his hometown
Yeah,
in his
I
last
know, but-
fight.
I don't know. Yeah. How many times do
Faber's
guys
only lost
retire
one
off of
non-title
wins
fights.
when they're planning it?
Yeah,
It's usually not very good.
well,
Usually they all retire after losses.
they don't. I don't know. They're
Like Henderson
I think
lost.
Uriah Faber's got this
I
one.
know. Yeah, it's hometown. Should be a good fight. Should be. Oh shit! Co-main event.
I'm glad you have to pick this one.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Sage Northcutt fighting for the second time at 170
Super Sage
versus Mickey Gall, coming off his easy breezy, beautiful win over
CM Punk,
former professional stuntman, improv stuntman CM Punk, who's decided to start training real martial arts with no experience even in wrestling, and completely got destroyed by Mickey Gall. Although we've never seen Mickey Gall fight anybody good. And Sage hasn't looked great. Didn't look great in his last fight, even though he won. I mean, he looked better than the fight
his
before
last
that.
170 was against Barberina, who's on this card also, who choked choked his ass out.
He fought after Barberina and won.
Yes, I know,
Yeah.
but that was his only other fight at 170.
Oh, right. Yeah.
So he's 0-1 at 170.
Yeah.
Or at least in the UFC.
But he's a big guy. Mickey Gall said that he would have cut down to lightweight if that's what but they didn't. They were fine with 170. Man, but Gall has been training. He's at TriStar, and he trains with the Miller brothers, right?
Yeah.
No.
Out of Jersey?
Yeah. Man, I think I'm gonna go Mickey Gall.
I mean, in my heart, I want Gall to win.
Yeah.
This
I mean, he's only 3-0. The tricky thing is his record and the people he's fought. So it's like we really haven't seen. So this will be good. And I think he's been training a long time. He's a little older than Northcutt. So yeah, I'm good with that. All right, so the main event, Paige VanZant versus Michelle Waterson, the karate hottie, versus 12 gauge. Paige coming off that flying kick against Beck Rawling, and Michelle Waterson's been out for a while with she had something and then she had a broken hand. I think the hand thing is what she's most recently coming back from.
Yeah, I think she's only had one fight in the UFC, right?
I think so. She had the belt in Invicta. She lost the belt in her last fight in Invicta before coming over to the UFC. But then I forget who she fought.
I think she won her first fight, but they gave her a can. And
yeah, it wasn't.
I mean, no one's a can in the UFC, but they get
in the female divisions aren't very dense, so you can kind of help somebody out a little bit.
I mean, she's got almost double the fights of Paige.
And double the losses.
True.
So she's had the same career, just twice as long. Coming off an injury. Been a while. Paige VanZant, not the most technical, but she's not scared to throw shit, and she's durable. But
I gotta go Paige after that last fight.
Good with that? I think I'm good with that. I was expecting Paige to win that fight anyway. I didn't think she'd do it that way, but yeah. Well, maybe she was coming off the show. All right, I'm pretty comfortable with the breakdown of that. So that was these are our picks for. Oops, yep, that was right. UFC Fight Night Saturday, December 17th, Sacramento, California. Headlined by Paige VanZant, Michelle Waterson, and starting from the bottom.
I got Elive.
I got Serrano.
I got Wineland.
I got Aldana.
I got Holtzman.
I got Moonwalker Moontassery.
I got Bam Bam Barberina.
I got Hirota.
I got
a letter.
Silva.
He wrote a letter and he said Perry is the gift from God.
I got Faber going out with a win.
And I got Mickey. Hey, Mickey, you're so fine, Gall.
And I got the 12 gauge Paige.
VanZant. That's a good card. That's a good card. Looks like a fun card.
It does.
Top to bottom. So.
Actually, more fights on this card that I'm really into that I didn't think. When I saw it was another Fox card, I'm like,
right.
Because there's
and there's been so many, and there's been some weak ones. Like the one we were doing the Fight Pass one.
Yeah,
it was weak, but that was Fight Pass. So what the fuck am I saying? Although sometimes those ones where nobody knows your name when it's not Cheers.
Where nobody knows your name.
Yeah, those fights sometimes can be fucking amazing. All right, so yeah, let's do this thing here. So get some free audiobooks on us.
Don't
30
ride
days.
a bike and read a book.
That's right, people. Don't read a book and ride a bike at the same time. It's dangerous for your health. And chipmunks and car perfections. So get a free audio book through Audible, inspireddisorder.com/audible for a 30-day trial. I think I've done that before.
30?
Yeah. 30-day trial, which gives you a free audio book. If you want to read it, don't do it. They got an audio book for you where a professional does it for you. Clearly, I use Audible because I can't read shit. InspiredDisorder.com/audible for your free audio book. And the holidays are here, so buy your shit on Amazon through our link, InspiredDisorder.com/Amazon. And if you want free Prime service, 30 days free Prime service, so you can get your shit fast. You can get your shit cheap. You can get a bunch of on-demand movies. I've been watching a bunch of movies and TV shows on Amazon Prime. The Red Oaks show is a fun show. I really enjoyed that. 2 seasons of that up there. And a bunch of fucking movies that are great. And then they got a bunch of books, too. If you want to read books with your eyeballs on a Kindle, they got books for you. InspiredDisorder.com/Prime for your 30-day free trial of Amazon Prime. And if you already have Prime, go through our link, InspiredDisorder.com/Amazon. And as always, you can follow Keith at KeithSpurlock1 on Twitter. You can wave to him. You can do a pick bet with him if you want to challenge the current champion.
You will lose, though.
The current
crush
trophy holder. Make sure you do it quick, because by next week, the trophy's over here. This hat's over there. Peace will be restored in the studio. The studio does not like, and by studio I mean me, having this thing on my head.
Fucking pull a Conor McGregor. No one's taking my fucking trophy from me.
You can't say you're pulling a Conor McGregor when you just haven't won anything for a while. He wins everything.
Saying you can't strip my championship.
Oh, okay.
I've won.
Oh, don't worry. This is the UFC. I'm just going to take it, and it won't matter. Everybody gets a belt. You're getting a belt. You're getting a belt. Follow Keith at KeithSpurlock1 on Twitter, at Ray Taylor on Twitter and Instagram. Spider Sword Podcast on Facebook, and the youtube.com/InspiredDisorder. And that's it, people. Until next time. I don't know. Peace.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Inspired Disorder Podcast. Embedded signals within this podcast have reprogrammed your natural thinking patterns. Side effects may include lack of inhibitions, erectile dysfunction, anal leakage, transcendental communication with beings from 4 of the 7 primary dimensions. In the event of a tear in space-time, please keep your hands down and feet together. Any loss of life or limbs due to interdimensional travel is not the responsibility of this podcast.